Hello and welcome. What if retirement isn't really an ending? What if it's actually the starting line for your next big adventure? That's what we're digging into today. This really powerful idea that you can turn this new chapter of your life into a launchpad for something huge, for entrepreneurship, for making an impact, for building a legacy. All right, let's get into it. And the ideas we're talking about today, they come directly from some fantastic material, a workshop for retirees put together by the author Olusegun S. Adigun, a doctor of divinity. He has an absolutely brilliant framework for looking at this whole topic. So the workshop kicks off with a really direct question, right? Is retirement a death sentence? And, it's a fair question because for so long, society has kind of painted retirement as the finish line. But the whole idea here is to just completely reject that, to start speaking positively to ourselves and really believe, it's not over till it's over. Okay, so if retirement isn't an ending, then what is it? Well, this framework says it's a massive opportunity. And that brings us to the first part of this journey, tapping into the entrepreneur that's already inside you. This is all about unleashing your potential and really seeing yourself as the engine for whatever comes next. And this right here, I love this because it's so simple but so powerful. Before you can even think about building a business or a new project, the work has to start inside. You are the core. You are the engine. Everything, and I mean everything, starts and ends with you. Okay, so how do you actually do that? How do you put yourself at the center? Well, the source material gives us two really clear, actionable steps. First, you've got to reinvent yourself. That means dropping those old mindsets, the ones that might be holding you back. And second, you have to actively add more value to yourself. And that's all about unlearning old habits and relearning new skills. It's about getting yourself ready for this new chapter. Right, so once you've committed to doing that inner work, the next big question is, okay, so what do I actually do? And that's what brings us to our next section, finding your true calling. This is where we shift gears from just preparing ourselves to actually discovering our unique purpose. And this quote, it just nails it, doesn't it? Think about it. All those hobbies, those things you're curious about, the stuff you've been interested in your whole life, they're not just random distractions. No way. They're actually clues. They're like little breadcrumbs leading you straight to your purpose, to your calling. They're pointing you towards your next big thing. So this is the big question you've got to ask yourself. Seriously, what am I passionate about? What's that one thing that just pulls you in, that you do with so much enthusiasm, you completely lose track of time? Whatever that is, that's your North Star. That's where you start. And to help figure that out, the source breaks it down into three really important ideas. You've got passion, right? That's what you do just for the love of it, not for any reward. Then there's a project. That's when you take that passion and give it a specific goal, maybe with a reward in mind. But then there's purpose. And purpose, well, that's the big one. That's your calling, what you were truly meant to do. And man, if you can build your new venture on that, your chances of success just go through the roof. And this idea of purpose leads right into understanding your talent. Look, your number one job right now is self-discovery. It's not about looking at what other people are doing. It's about getting real with yourself, figuring out your strengths, and defining what makes you, well, you. And you absolutely have to drop any of that mediocre self-talk. Your talent needs confidence to shine, not laziness or doubt. All right, so let's say you've started to figure out your calling. You know your talents. What's next? This is the crucial piece of the puzzle. We're moving into building an innovator's mindset. And listen, this is way more than just a business plan. This is about completely changing the way you think so you can start seeing opportunities that everyone else misses. And the source material makes a really important distinction here. A lot of people mix these two up. There's just business ownership, which is kind of the common idea of running a company. But then there's true entrepreneurship, and that's different. That's about solving a real problem for people. It's about taking an old idea and completely reinventing it. I mean, think about what Uber did to the taxi industry. And at its heart, it's about having the guts to take a risk on something new. So, the big question is, how do you become that kind of innovator? Well, it's an evolution, really, in 3 steps. It all starts with curiosity. You just have to start asking why all the time. Then, that curiosity starts to build into critical thinking, which is a skill anyone can learn, by the way. And from there, you finally evolve into what the world really needs, a problem solver. Okay, let's bring all of this together, because in this final section, we're going to focus on the ultimate motivation, the thing that gives this whole journey its deepest meaning. And that's your legacy. The idea that your legacy doesn't start at the end of your life. It starts today. It's about asking that profound question, what am I going to leave behind? And that leads us to that huge question we all think about at some point, right? What will I be remembered for? And the source is really clear on this. Legacy is not about how many houses you leave for your kids. A true legacy is about the impact you have on the world. It's the problems you solve, the value you create. That's what people will remember you for. And this next quote, wow. I just want to let this one sit for a second because it's so powerful. You must endeavor to die empty. Think about what that means. It means you use up all your gifts. You share every idea you have. You fulfill every ounce of your potential. You leave absolutely nothing on the table. And that brings us to the final and maybe most challenging question of all. They say the cemetery is just filled with unfulfilled dreams, right? With ideas that never saw the light of day. But you still have time. You don't have to be a photocopy of the person you were created to be. So the real question is, what are you going to do with the time you have left? What an inspiring way to think about things, right? Just a truly powerful framework to end on. This whole explainer has been a walkthrough of the incredible ideas from Olusegun S. Adigan, DD, and his workshop for retirees. Thanks so much for joining me.